What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for another episode of building the UCS Acclamator. We're winding down here. This is the second to last update for the Acclamator. So after this one, only one more and I'm done, which is crazy. But that also means I'm going to be finishing up the bottom this week, which is a really big deal. Honestly, for some reason, I was more frustrated with the underside than the top side. Like the top side, I feel like once I got that angle of, the overall ship down, the top side kind of came together very quickly, whereas the underside was much more challenging just because there's, like I said last time, there's just so many shapes and angles. It's not just two nice angles that, kind of playing into each other like on the top. And so to finally be done with that is really relieving and makes me really excited because now I know like the hardest stuff is out of the way. Now I can really picture what it's going to look like once it's done. All that being said, I don't have anything else to say, so it's time to get into the episode. So starting this week, I wanted to hurry up and get the rest of that other side plated off. It just been exposed for so long and I had the plate all built. I just needed to install it. You can see it is giving me a little bit of trouble though. I had to get down underneath and kind of figure out what was going on. There were some plates that were sitting on top of the crossbars that kind of make up the frame of the Acclamator, and so I had to move those so they weren't running into the frame of the Acclamator anymore. And then I just went on the back and stuck some plate in. This part was fairly easy. It was honestly mostly just that angled wedge piece that I was putting on first that gave me the most problems. But once I finally get all this in, it should be a little bit easier and we will really start to see the bottom coming together. I have got most of the bottom area plated off. You guys saw in that time lapse, this bottom part gave me a little bit of trouble just trying to get it in the right spot and make sure it was all connected, but it's finally all together. It looks really good. It looks much better now that, all of the bottom side is covered up. I'm pretty happy with the tile to plate ratio on the bottom. You're not really going to see this area a whole lot. I am missing one of these large wedge plates. I'm going to have to order that in, so that's why there's this little gap right here. Over here on this side, I have got this last little section to do. I have part of the panel built right here, and it's just going to slide in right there. All I'm waiting on is a couple of these tiles to come in the mail. Then I can slap those on right there, stick this piece in, and then the bottom will be all done. After so much work and so much trial and error, it'll finally be finished. This part especially has been pretty tricky, but I'm pretty happy with how it looks. It's mostly all covered up. There will be some small gaps here and there, but that's okay. It's on the underside, and for the most part, it's all plated off. Here on the front, I've got this little stand. So this is what's going to hold up the ship from the front. I've got those two legs in the back. This one doesn't connect to the ship. Just kind of rests on top of it like that. I may experiment with putting two on either side instead of this one in the front, just depending on, where all the weight sits and if that causes this frame to bend at all, having only one stand here and one all the way back there. I think that's pretty much everything I have to show you. Honestly, I don't have that much left to do before this Acclamator is finished. I may even be done a week earlier than anticipated. All that being said, when I've got more to show you guys, I will check back in. I am very excited for this haul because I finally got these. These are the 6x12 plates I was talking about I needed to finish this side. So that means, now that I have these in, I can completely finish off the underside except for that little section right here. Flip it over and start working on the top. Guys, this is huge. The underside is done. I did also get some smaller ones. These are going to be used on the top side, basically just swapping out more studs for tile. But that's not all. I do have some stuff for Kato Nemoidia in here. Got some studs, but we'll save that for the Kato Nemoidia update. The next big thing I need to tackle is greebling this entire section of 2x plate, which basically runs the entire length of the ship on both sides, even in the front a little bit. That's going to be no easy task. I'm not sure if I have enough greebling pieces to do it all, but I do need to get started so I can at least gauge where I'm at. So I'm probably going to do that next. Obviously going to time lapse it because why not? But that's about all I have for this update, so time to get building. So one thing I am trying out while doing this greebling, this is kind of the first time I've ever done ship greebling, is creating like a base pattern or a couple of techniques and then repeating them over and over. I found this useful in the fact that I knew what kind of parts to buy, instead of trying to do like a million different little cool greebling things. I tried to just stick to like, 5 or 6 techniques or pieces that I knew would look good and kind of repeat those over and over, like not in like an exact pattern over and over again, but just kind of sprinkle the same techniques throughout. This would allow me to know what kind of pieces to get and kind of know how much space I can take up with the parts I have. Well, this was a bit of a surprise, but I was able to greeble off this entire half of the ship, and I still have most of my greebling pieces. I honestly thought I was going to get like a quarter of the way done and mostly run out, but I honestly think I've got enough to finish the whole other side over there, and then add some more pieces over there and in the back side. I think what happened was the first time I tried greebling, I didn't realize how much I was going to need, so I bought a ton, and then didn't realize how much I got and thought, I was still going to run out. So that's good. That'll just be that much less money that I have to spend before this is all finished. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, especially because, there's no real, like I was saying, there's no real set way to do greebling. You have to do it until it looks nice. Next up, I want to talk about the bridge area. I've actually had this built for a while, but never actually really shown it or talked about it. Now I figured is the perfect time considering, it's going to be going on the top there pretty soon. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It was a pretty simple process of putting together. Basically, I just looked at pictures of the Acclamator and then, built that slope up, slowly built up the interior. And then the top side was actually really fun because I had to somehow capture that circular shape, without it being super round or super boring. I feel like I was able to capture that pretty nicely using these cheese slopes. So that's how I got the angle on the bottom. And on the top, you can see cheese slopes on all sides. And then I got that little middle section. I actually got the idea for this front section and this top section from that Acclamator I actually referenced from the very first episode of the build series when I was going to kind of build it off of that one. This is really probably the only thing, one of the few things that survived that version. There are some things that I am kind of unhappy with, and the first is the height. I put it on top of the Acclamator, and I was looking at the Acclamator, and I felt like it just looked too tall. It looked kind of like a giraffe's neck. And I looked at more reference material and noticed the Acclamator bridge isn't very high up off of the ship. So I think I might cut down at least one of these brick layers right here, bring this whole thing down lower to the ground, which means I'll have to make this section smaller as well. And then on the back here, I didn't really have any good reference material while I was working on the back. And then later, I was looking through my Incredible Cross-Sections book, the Star Wars one, and I saw that it gives you a great shot of the rear of the Acclamator. Honestly, wish I had noticed that when I was working on that end. That would have been very helpful. I did get a good view of this back section right here, so I may revisit that and kind of readjust some things there. Here's a pretty good look at the Acclamator. I am just so pleased with how it's looking. I think I forgot to mention I got this stand put in, and it's just the right height, so you can see it's just chilling there on that stand. That wraps up this episode of building the UCS Acclamator. Hope you guys enjoyed this week. As you can see, there isn't much left to do. Honestly, there's only one more week. Next update is going to be the final update for the Acclamator before the finale comes out. So I'm very excited. I hope you guys are excited to see this thing finished. All that being said, it's time to go hit the outro. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this week of building the UCS Acclamator. I'm finally there. The finish line is in sight. I'm really happy with how that greebling looks, and I'm also surprised with the abundance of greebling parts that I have. I should be able to finish probably the whole thing, if not almost all of it, with those pieces, so that's really exciting. I'm probably going to leave it kind of taken apart for this next episode, kind of like what you guys saw today, just because I don't want to ruin the finished look. But you guys will still get to see like the main body and stuff, but I think I might keep those upper panels and some of the smaller panels off. Oh, I do also have a surprise build, little mini surprise build that's going to be revealed next week as well. All that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up. And if you have any questions, comments, anything at all, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I really do appreciate all you guys' comments down there. And of course, Always, if you're interested and you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content. But until next time, happy building.